Hey guys, so I really wanted to do this video. So basically I wanted to talk about a franchise that is kind of dear to me. Again, I guess have nostalgia goggles. So a lot of things from when I was younger I have nostalgia goggles over. So this is a very, very old series. So I believe, I will double check it, and obviously if I'm wrong I'll ping it up on the screen, but I believe it came out in about 1992. So it was one of the first kind of series to actually go with this kind of concept. So the series in question is this. So this is ReBoot. So ReBoot is an original series basically that is all to do with the computer and the mainframe of your PC. So back in the day, obviously we had like 98 computers, we had Windows XP, etc. And the whole idea and concept of this was this character, as you can see here, it's called Bob. And that's the other reason why I loved it, because the names, apart from one of them really, was so common. It was brilliant. But yeah, he is a guardian of the computer and he has to basically look after the computer itself. So in regards to that, what he does is he actively stops viruses and stuff like that infiltrating part of the computer. He can only obviously do his job so well. And in regards to the actual series, this is just the PlayStation 1 game. In regards to the actual series, he fights mainly mainframe, and he fights oh, it really annoys me now because I've actually forgotten his name. But he fights basically two main enemies. I'll ping them up on the screen. In regards hexadecimal, that's it, his sister hexadecimal, but either way, he fights those. On top of that, he also kind of fights back against the user, so the user of the PC. So every time you load a game into the PC, what actually happens is it kind of squares off a small section of their kind of village or city, and everyone or any characters that are caught in that section have to fight as a CPU character against the player. If the CPU characters win against the player, basically the game goes away almost when the players finish playing with it, and then it sounds really cruel, but they get to live. If the CPU characters basically lose against the player, they don't, basically they almost get wiped. That section of the map gets wiped. So most of the time what will happen is Bob will go into the fight just to try and make sure that everybody survives. Hence why it's supposed to be like the CPU characters are always really hard, because they're basically fighting for their survival. This was a 90s program, so I really, really loved this series. It was on normal standard cellular, not cellular like telly. So what I mean by that is, back in the day I had channels 1, 2, 3, BBC 1, BBC 2, BBC 4, ITV is channel 3, and that's a completely different thing. Channel 5 is a completely different thing as well, or was back then if it isn't now. So I only had those channels. We didn't have Sky, and my parents still don't have Sky because it's not something they wanted. So this kind of thing, when it was on, I was glued to. So I really, really love this. So this is the PlayStation 1 game. So they did only, as far as I'm aware, do this PlayStation 1 game. As you can see, someone else's receipts in here, but this is actually complete. It's really good. Strangely enough, this is actually canon to the actual storyline, which is really nice. Even though the gameplay can be quite finicky. It's key to say that in like America and stuff like that, they got more when it came to ReBoot, and at current they still have more. So they have they've basically released the DVDs, and they are I think they're region 1 because we're region 2. So I can't actually get the DVDs, even though I can watch them if I want to on like a streaming service, so that's not too bad. But it kind of sucks because they did re-release all of the series, full series part, as well as like 2 of the straight to movie DVD like releases. The other thing to say is, so ReBoot got cancelled quite a lot. It was one of those series that unfortunately I think was a bit ahead of its curve, and it's sad because it was so awesome, and I can't really explain it that much anymore and how awesome it was, but it was awesome. They also didn't expect to bring out loads of merch like this, but I'm pretty sure the only way they could get extra stories out, the people that and creators that made this series, was to get merch. You sell merch means people want to revive the series or want to at least watch the series, and yeah, then what happens is you want to then watch the program, you can make more. The other thing to mention is that there is a fully fledged reboot on Netflix. There is 2 series of it. I haven't personally watched it. I've heard it's not particularly brilliant, but it's not bad. I've heard that there is cameo appearances in regards to Bob, and they are apparently still fighting Hexadecimal and Megabyte and like the mainframe and stuff like that. So we will I'm gonna watch it. Like, that's literally one of my plans this week now, to watch it, because I didn't actually realize that was out. But yeah, so apparently it's not terrible. It is apparently all about a group of kids, like typical kind of a group of kids become guardians, and then they have to look after the mainframe and stuff like that. So I don't know personally. I said all I know is what I've heard so far in regards to that. So in regards to my collection of things, most things have come off eBay or in stores. So I've had this for years. So this, I said, is the PlayStation 1 game. When they say their gameplay is finicky, it really is. Like, I'm not bad at all at gaming, and some of it is typical PlayStation 1 controls, and it is a bit of a pain in the bum. It's one that I would really like to continue with, because I've never really completed it because it's so finicky. But yeah, I have that. I have 3 out-of-box figures that came off eBay. So I knew they came off eBay, I knew they were missing bits, but at the time this was all I could afford, and in regards to the show, and I didn't really want to forget the show, so I just picked them up. So I have Enzo. So this is important to say that this is young Enzo. This isn't like series, I think 3 of Enzo, but or 2 of Enzo. So it's Enzo, and he should come with like a board and stuff like that. So this is Dot, or Dottie. She runs like the kind of old style diner, and I believe she's Enzo's mum. I don't know if we ever got a confirmation of that, but the way she acts with him, I'd assume that. Either way, she's really awesome. Again, I know they got told that they had to desexualize the characters. Bear in mind, this was pixelated incredibly, but she still actually looks like a woman, so that's really good. This is the main guy. So this is Bob. I actually can't remember what she comes with, but this is Bob. So this is, I don't know what series. I think he's always had silver hair, but I think I always thought it was like weird blue. I know he has like longer kind of hair later on, but yeah, so this is Bob. He's supposed to come with like his grabber and stuff like that, but obviously he hasn't. But again, this is awesome. These ones as well are kind of ones that I don't mind if my kids get into it, that I would happily let them play with. They're just old vintage toys. All I would do is remove Enzo's cap, because it is literally just a push on and clip on. So it's a case of choking hazards. But yeah, all these characters are actually really well made. You can see they've been played with and loved, and they have stood up to time, so I cannot fault that. I have these 2 out of box figures as well, and for the life of me I can't remember their names right now, which is gonna really bug me because it doesn't even say on there. I have these figures. So these are really cool. So their heads move. I know off the top of my head that they are Megabyte's minions kind of thing. So they're really cool. These, I believe, either came off eBay or a boot sale, and I found them and was just like, I don't care that they're out of box and they're not perfect. I want them. So These actually do come with their stands, so a lot of the ones you will see will come like that, because in the actual main frame or the series itself, the ball is supposed, they run along their little ball on the bottom, so obviously they wouldn't stand otherwise, so they come with a cute little stand. So there's him. He's in really good nick actually, a bit dusty, but hey ho. Same with him, he has his stand, which is really nice and actually kind of hard to find. But yeah, the only downside about this figure is that it has like this black gunky goo stuff there, and to be honest with you, I'm sure if I took a Q-tip and some rubbing alcohol now, I could probably get it off, but I just didn't have that at the time, so I never kind of did that. So the next thing to say is I have 2 boxed figures. Oh, Hack and Slash, there we go. This one is Slash and the red one is Hack. I couldn't remember for the life of me, but either way, I have these 2 figures and these are completely sealed in box. So I have Bob here, as you can see, he comes with all his extra bits, which is really friggin' nice. He looks so clean as well, which is awesome. Also, he's got what they call a delete disc, so that's something from the show basically. He comes with, they're basically saying he comes with 3 glitch accessories, which is that there, which my character doesn't have, which is this little attachment, which is basically in the show this, so he presses it, it's like a Gatling, and this as well. Just double reading something. Oh, okay, apparently if you fit this into here, it can do spinning cutting action. Either way, these are all the information on the back, so you actually get some information about Bob and what he is and what his function is. But either way, and the story as well on the top here about ReBoot. So they were really trying to push the sales at this point to try and get people to purchase this. Again, this is Enzo. This is young Enzo. So again, it's got the story all about, yeah, all about his thing. His cap is a key selling point apparently, because you can turn his cap. That's how basic some of our toys were back in the day. But either way, that's really awesome. I really love those, and those kind of get looked after. Again, I think those came off of eBay and they were really cheap. I'm pretty sure they were actually in an auction together, and I honestly didn't pay more than a tenner for both of them, because it's a series that isn't overly popular and like memorable for some people. It is kind of cheap. Certain things are cheap. So I had this. So this, I believe, was like a Burger King toy, and it came from Burger King. But I may be wrong. I know they did Burger King toys. No, so this actual one is a play set. So they did do Burger King toys and they did play sets personally, but sometimes it can be a bit of a pain to tell them apart. So this is what it looks like inside. It's a glorified Polly Pocket for boys, because this series was advertised and pushed towards boys. But either way, it's glorified Polly Pocket. So I have none of the figures that came with this, because even though as a girl I had Polly Pockets, and I still have my Polly Pockets down somewhere in about places, the key thing to mention was my Polly Pockets were hard plastic, where the items in this was like a little plastic base, and it came with like cardboard cutouts that you had to like put on the base, which really sucks, because I don't know how many of them would have survived. There is some of them that are little plastic bits, so bear in mind, again, we didn't get this in the UK, I don't believe, so like the Burger King stuff, so I actually don't know what ones came with what. It's just something that I know of and I just really like. So again, everything in here moves. It's a glorified Polly Pocket. You can put things like this away, shut doors. You've got like a weird like thing there. You've got all the guns that you can happily put away, and the little trapdoor that you can shut, and it shuts up, so you can literally carry it around and play ReBoot wherever you want. So one of the weirdest ones that I have, and these actually took me so long to get, because like I bought these, and these actually took about 4 months to get to me because they kept messaging me saying they were having issues getting them to me, and did I just want a refund? And I was like, no, I would like the product, please. And they're like, fine. Eventually they sent it to me. But either way, these. So back in the day, kind of like they do now, I guess, but not really so much. So these are packaged toothbrushes. So I have 2 of Bob and 1 of Enzo. So Bob's, these are standard toothbrushes. These aren't anything fancy. These do not vibrate, light up, or anything like that. They are just literally a purple toothbrush, and it's got Bob written on this one, and it's got Enzo written on the side of this one. As you can see, Bob, that one's turned in the packet. But either way, they are standard, bog standard toothbrushes, but they were just basically designed to go for children. This is actually done by Sensodyne, which is quite hilarious because you've got Sensodyne up top there. But either way, again, it comes with some really nice information on there. So Bob has information about hack and slash, and Megabyte has information. Enzo has information about Megabyte on the back. I don't know how many of these actually were made. I don't know if they made other characters, so if they made hack and slash separately, or if like toothbrushes, or if they made Megabyte and hexadecimal as toothbrushes, or dot as toothbrushes. I just saw these and I'd never seen these before, so I picked them up. Another one of the weird ones that I actually have, that again I bought them off eBay, by the way. I don't know where I know I bought these off eBay, but I don't know where they come from. I don't originally know where they come from. I don't know if they were in cereal. I don't know if they were just made and you bought them in a toy store. I can't believe that's the case. But badges, I have 6 badges, and I actually purchased these in different times, both from eBay, from 2 different sellers, and I have never seen them since, like ever. So I have Bob, I have Dot, and I have Megabyte on this one. So they're really nice pins. So they are actually really glossy and really shiny. They have like the typical old-fashioned like push buttons at backs that we had when we were kids. And they're actually really nicely done. So they actually have a full gold outline, and the inside is all coloured in really nice. And then over here, again, I have another Bob, but I also have Enzo and hack and slash. And again, you can see how really nice quality they are, and I don't know where they came from. I don't know what originally they were sold as or with, but they were, I saw them, and again, I'd never seen them before, so I added them to my collection. Now the last thing I have, I bought off of eBay kind of a very, very long time ago. I didn't pay a lot for it. I paid about maximum 25 to 30 pounds. But I'd always remembered looking at it, thinking it was too expensive, and I certainly wasn't going to purchase it. And then when it was at that price, I thought I'm going to purchase it. And now it's worth about 110, 20 pounds, give or take. So this is Bob's car. This is basically new in box. Personally, I did open it, like, because it was like, I don't even remember if it was sealed, but I was so excited. I think it was sealed, and I was dead so excited that I got it out, because I was like, I do not care, I just want to open it. So it is new in box, but I have checked everything there. So and this is how you can tell it's new as well. So in regards to Bob's car, you get his deleting disc. You also get like the stickers for the drop down vid window for the car. You can just see there. So Enzo's face is there. So you do kind of get that too. You've got a full set of Bob's car, which is amazing. I have the instructions and everything. like the drawings were just amazing. That's just what I loved about it. You can also start the car with Bob's glitch. So if you had Bob, because he came separately, if you had Bob, you could apparently plug his part of him into the car and it would work, which is really cool. It has an on and off button. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it has an on and off button and stuff like that. It needs batteries, so I don't know if it moves. I think it kind of just jolts and jigs and stuff, and you can shoot other things out of it. But down here, I can't actually get it out, is like the front window of the car to be put in. Yeah, it's literally awesome. I absolutely adore it. It's like the biggest and most expensive part of my entire collection in regards to ReBoot. I do have one other thing, but I can't find it at the moment because it also lives in another collection. It's weird. So I have my original vintage Pog collection, and I loved Pogs when I was a kid. Loved them. They were gruesome, they were cute, they were sparkly. I loved them. So I actually have my original Pog collection, and in my Pog collection I have skip Pogs that came from the series ReBoot. I also have ones from like the original Mask series and Transformers and other stuff like that. So that is really awesome, but I just can't find it, unfortunately. We've got a couple of key events coming up in our life at the moment, so my games room kind of always takes a bit of a hit in the sense of a dumping ground. So I can't find it for the life of me, and I did look, but I couldn't spot it. So I have Pogs. I'll kind of flick some pictures up of, I only have like 2, but I'll flick the picture up of what ones I do have. It's just something that I really kind of like. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below if ReBoot is a series that you've ever heard of. If you are now considering watching it because of what I have said, 100% do so, but 100% take with a pinch of salt the fact it is a series from the 90s. Yes, I personally think it looks quite good for the era it is made in, but it is going to have 90s humour in it. It's going to have 90s probably references in it that aren't necessarily references that we would use nowadays, and stuff like that. So obviously if you're easily triggered, I would say that. I know they wear certain clothing, but I can't think of what, if it is like inappropriate in a sense. I just can't think of what they wear. I know they wear like a zombie outfit for one thing, but I can't think of any others off the top of my head. Also, the storyline and the plot for ReBoot is quite dark, and the latter part of the series does get quite dark, but again, take with a pinch of salt that it is a 90s series plotline. It's no different to like the original 90s 2000s Pokemon. You take it with a pinch of salt. It's more nostalgia than kind of anything. But yeah, also if you are thinking about getting into it, I'll see if I can find a link, and I'll link it below. There is also a massive fandom for ReBoot, the original ReBoot, and what the fans did was they kept ReBoot alive for many years. One, they did a fully fandom continuation of the story, which artists themselves just drew this comic book, this online comic book, and it's amazing, but they did it for free almost. It's perfect, it's so good. So if I can find that, I'll put that there. Also, it's key to note there is a full comic book where the writers kind of got all, not necessarily the fandom, but the fans to tell them what they wanted. But unfortunately, most fans don't know what they want until they've got it. So I think it's kind of like there, but they pretend it's not there. But again, I'm pretty sure that is on the fandom website. They've just taken that and they've put it on there. If you want to read it, it's completely free and you can read it. This is a franchise that I really would love to see get some more love, and if it kind of came back and my boys were really into it, it would be perfect. So, but let me know what you think of ReBoot. Have you ever heard of it? If you've heard of it, like, is it something that you remember that much or not remember, and something you like or don't like? And don't forget to obviously like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and again, I will be putting up loads more videos very soon. Obviously as I've said, I've just got a couple of key life events happening at the moment, so I've just been kind of manic. So yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching though, and I will see you guys next time. So